What's going on, y'all? As y'all can already see the title, to me, from the way, now I can be wrong, and I don't want to always throw my words in that, but I compare it to the Bible before I say it. Based upon the Bible, the Negroes, first and foremost. Now, when you're dealing with our people, the Negroes was enslaved, right? Okay. Now, when you look at this thing, how the Negroes, our people, went off and they started marrying the other nations and stuff like that. They started marrying the other nations and all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? They started getting involved with, and marrying the daughters of the Hamite women. You know what I mean? They didn't stay no longer. That's why, if you look in the Bible, I'm going somewhere with this. I want to make a point with this because I want to name the video. Creole is another word for just, to me, I just say it's the new black. Now, I can be wrong. Maybe somebody can come along and debunk it. And if you can, I don't have no problem being corrected on something when I'm wrong about something. I have absolutely no problem. I can be reading the Bible, for example. You know what I'm saying? And somebody can come and can read something where I misread and where I mistook it out of context. I don't mind apologizing for that. You know what I mean? I don't mind, my bad, because you have thousands of people. Whatever you put out in the public, you're gonna be responsible for the information that misleading your people. You know what I mean? Misleading my people. And I want to hear it to say, when I read the Bible from now on, I'm just gonna be more careful with what I say and how I put it, but I want to make sure I'm saying it right. Creole. Now I'm gonna mention something else, but I'm gonna say this here. I got something else I want to throw in here too. You know what I mean? So nobody won't say I'm off topic. Creole, to me, is just another word. It's just a new name for the so-called black people, African American, or whatever you want to call it. Because at the end of the day, you know what, man? Lumping, like, there ain't no such thing as I'm Dominican. Okay, those. At the end of the day, those are just titles. You see what I'm saying? At the end of the day, whether you so-called mixed, because there's no such thing as mixed. You are what your daddy is. You got mixed, black. I'm half black, half this here, this and that and the third. At the end of the day, when you look at the condition that you're in, because see, somehow or another, we think that Creole somehow Caucasian, if you use the name Caucasian, white, those in this society is considered famous. It's considered it's something I'm trying to bring out. A superior name. That's what I'm looking for. Superior. You would think that, like, okay, if I call them, like, so-called white people, they call themselves white, right? Because anything that's white, they program to condition our people to say that you are, hold on. That dude gave me a ride right there in that car right there. That's a nice car right there. I like that car. Yeah, man, I like that car. I told him too, I like that car. And he even looked like he got a computer in that car. But anyway, I was talking about, he dropped me off and gave me a ride up here. And then they had the music to it. I had to stop it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that dark. So I'm right here by the corner store. But anyway, yeah. Creole is just another word for just the new black. It's just a new name. It's just like back in the day, how did our people start calling themselves African American? They start calling themselves black dude Jesse Jackson, right? In 1985. And probably maybe before that, I don't know. But I know it was like, I was told it was 1985 when back in 1985. All right, now today, like, let's take back in the 1800s, right? 1817 to 1800s. Maybe, I'm gonna say before no, way before the 1800s and stuff like that. Before 1492. Nobody wasn't calling themselves Creole. And the Bible been around longer than that. So how can you be a so-called Creole? Those are just, when you can tell with slavery, when Christopher Columbus started mixing, the white men started mixing their seed with the Native Americans over here. Now, because of that, our people started mixing with the other nations too as well. Like the so-called black men, over a period of time, they just started mixing with the other nation. They wanted to get with the other women. They started going off, and that's when also the curses came upon us as well too, because our people started going off and they started mixing, and therefore all those slave labors that was given to us, they was beaten to us during slavery, because the slave masters would be raping the black women. Not, I wouldn't say all of them were raped, but I would say a large portion of them was. And then it just went on over time. That's how you got our people, the black men, when they started mixing with the other nation, and when the so-called black woman started mixing with the other nations and stuff like that. That's how you got all this what they call mixed race stuff. And that's how our people start calling themselves Puerto Rican, all this type of stuff. And over time, the skin of our people lightening up. And now when you see people today walking around, you may see a man, he may look like a Caucasian or so-called Edomite, but he's actually an Israelite because his father's an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? You look at these type of things, and then you'll say, oh, that's a so-called white person, that's a so-called Frenchman, that's a Caucasian Frenchman or whatever. You know what I mean? Because you have a lot of Caucasian people. No, excuse me. You have a lot of our people look like they a French person or look like they're a Caucasian. You know what I mean? And you'll be surprised. It's all because they say, what is you? What's your nationality or whatever? Oh, my dad is Dominican. My dad is black. My dad is Creole. My dad this and that. And you look on the picture, you be like, damn, he look like a so-called white man. And when when you actually do some tracing of the lineage, you'll find out that the so-called the Dominican man's father goes back to a so-called Negro or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. You know what I mean? Because of the mixing, that's why we're looking different, and that's part of the consequences for going on. We got to deal with the confusion going around and mistaking Israelite for an Edomite, and then you mistake a Edomite for a Jake. You know what I'm saying? All those different things, you know. So in the Bible, it talked about that. It prophesied that would happen. It says, when you remember when Daniel was praying, Daniel said, "Unto thee, O Lord, belongeth unto thee righteousness, but unto us confusion of faces." That's what that's going into. You see, walk around and you see our people. Some of them look like Caucasian people. Some of them look like Saudi Arabians. Some of them look like they're Polynesian or whatever the hell you call it. Some of our people look Egyptian. Some of us look black, but they actually is not a so-called black person. You can look at an Israelite and mistake him for a Caucasian. You know what I mean? And it's all because of how we went off, and that's where the confusion come in at. And if our people would have just stick with God's plan and did what our forefathers would have did what they were supposed to have done, then we wouldn't be looking. It wouldn't be no confusion. It wouldn't be none of that. You see what I'm saying? But because our people went off, this is part of the consequences that we got to deal with. That's why we got to walk around now. And when you're trying to gather our people together and get them out the confusion and stuff like that and bring them back to their original, now you got to debate with people. Now you got to argue with people. all these type of things, because some of them in that mindset, and some of them gonna stay in that mindset. You know what I mean? And you tell them this and that and the third, and then that's why a lot of us be like, well, I don't know who I am. You know what I mean? I don't know. He just said he was a Dominican, or he just said he was a Creole, so-called Creole. He said he was a so-called French Creole. He said it was this. He said he was that. So French Creole, so-called Creole, to me, it's just, I don't know. It's just another word. Those are just names, titles, and labels. You know what I mean? Nigerian. Because if you look at it, if you look at a real Nigerian, full-blooded Nigerian, they're foreign people. But if you look at a lot of them look just like a so-called black African American. But when you listen to them talk, then you can really tell, oh, they not, they're foreign. That's something. How you got some so-called black people look like you got some people with dark skin and stuff, but if you look at them good, you can pretty much tell who they are. You can tell by their walk and stuff. But I'm just saying, the so-called African American and Nigerian people and African people look similar but they're not the same people. You know, that's amazing to me, though. I think about that, and it's like you be trying to figure that out, and you be like, damn, that's a mystery. You know what I mean? And nowadays, you just got to test people by the spirit to tell who is who and who is not who, and this and that and the third, you know, because just because you have dark skin doesn't make a person an Israelite. Just because you have skin that looks like you from another nation, that doesn't make you a non-Israelite or whatever. You go by the spirit. The Bible said the spirit gonna bear witness, right? You know, that's amazing to me too when I think about that. Somebody put in the comment section if they agree. If they feeling what I'm saying. Like when I say that's amazing, how you may not look like an Israelite, but it's not about your color. It's about lineage. It's about genealogy. It's about seed. You know, that's amazing to me, bro. That's really amazing. When I think about that, you know, that's amazing. That's why Zechariah, in the book of Zechariah, I think it's Zechariah, I ain't read in a while, it says, not by might, but by my spirit, said the Most High. So that's probably why he used it in the spirit, because you can discern things through the spirit. That's how you understand. So when you are dealing with genealogy, bloodline, color, and all those things, you gotta pay attention to what people are saying, and that's how you can tell who is who and whose spirit bear witness with who. And that's why they say you may not know exactly who you are, but you'll know who you are by the spirit. You can the spirit itself, that's why I say the spirit itself bears witness with our spirit. That means the spirit can identify who you is. The spirit can trace who is who and who's not who. That's how you identify people, through the spirit. By what they say, what comes out of their mouth, what their passion is, and what they like doing, and stuff like that. You know, because there's a certain spirit that's going to be able to bear witness with certain people. Like if they go to talking about, I love going hunting, I like to eat my food raw, and I like my steak half rare done, and I love to go hunting and all that kind of stuff, and you killing up a mass amount of people, and you love blood, and you talking about you love blood, and you love going out hunting, you love just killing stuff for no reason. Naturally, your spirit right there, you can make a judgment based upon that. Oh, okay. You can pretty much ordinarily can define what part of the culture they are, because the Most High, did he say the spirit gonna bear witness? Like with these curses, for example, the Negroes who was in slavery and that was beaten and all that kind of stuff, had their backs beat in and stuff. A so-called white man can't read Deuteronomy 28 and say, oh, that's talking about me. He can't. The so-called white man cannot read that in Deuteronomy and can say, oh, that's talking about my people. Oh, I can relate to that. No, it's not gonna ring no bell with him because his people didn't go through that. All right, let me go up. Let me cut the camera off. Let me go in the house one more time. Well, people, I'm back in my house. I just made it in. I did about 15 minutes or something. I hate I can't get my computer going, man. It's got me locked out for no damn reason. Things of that nature, man. But, you know, we'll get through it, and I'm going to try to figure out something. So God, the most thing, he'll work out something some kind of way. But anyway, I'll see y'all later, man. We'll talk.